Hello everyone, this is Turin here, and welcome to another entry in our Community Cast series. In this game, we're going to have a showdown between Dr. Mazda MD, and he's going to be facing off against I Choose Violence, who has brought the antithesis of the Dwarves. He does actually have 3 Chaos Chariots, 2 Shaggoths, I think Kolek, and then a Shadowcaster. But anyways, guys, let's go ahead and jump right into the army compositions. So on the front line, for the Dwarf player, for Dr. Mazda, he does have some Ironbreakers right here, and they're going to be mixed in and saturated with some Miners with Blasting Charges. So across the whole front line, it actually appears to be all Miners, so he's definitely putting a lot of marbles in his back line, but, you know, where he lacks of and, you know, punching power in the front line, he has a ton up in the back. So he actually has, looks like 5 Thunders, 2 groups of Slayers kind of supporting those guys, with some Fodder Miners in the back, probably most likely to take some Chariot charges, poor little guys. And then on top of that, he does also have a cannon back here. So 1 cannon, and does he have another cannon? I don't think so. So again, Miners are kind of one of those things that if you really want to like have a inexpensive armor-piercing front line, they make an okay option. And if you saturate them with like Runesmiths and things like this, they will hold out a little bit longer. Granted, this Runesmith here, I think he is actually just a Rune of Wrath and Rune Buy. He doesn't have any other augmentations. But regardless, they're going to crumble pretty quickly. But still, you know, the Thunders and other guys like that, if left relatively unimpeded, will definitely do a good job of taking down the Chariots. And, you know, I've been struggling quite a bit with this matchup lately, the Dwarf versus Chaos, and I think one of the tools might be to just have so many missile units spread out in the back line that if they go after one, they're going to take fire from the other. I don't know. Still a lot of work to be done there, but I definitely like what he's doing back here with all the stopping power. On top of that, he does have the 2 Slayers, so we'll see how it goes for him. And for his Lord, guys, oh, how could I forget it? He has the mighty Grombrindle, everyone's crazy racist uncle, so this guy's ready to go. He's got 500 weapon strength, and he's got his cool haircut going on. Can't complain. So for the Warriors of Chaos over here on the far side, we do have a Hell Cannon. We have Kolek Sanity. This is literally going to be the easiest army breakdown ever. So Kolek, great against Dwarves. He's one of the few, you know, Chaos Lords that can really hammer it home to Dwarf Lords and, you know, heavy armor-piercing value. So he has 500, that's Grombrindle. He actually has 500 weapon strength, 520 with 400 AP on that, so that's pretty big. On top of that, he has Chaos Chariots, or the Gorby's Chariots, so he has 3 of those. He has Shadows with the Pit of Shades, and then 2 Shaggoths, so definitely going to be a wild time for the Dawi over here. So first, I'm going to fast forward a little bit when they get close. Both players are currently repositioning. You can see he's going to line up his cannons and his Thunders to kind of meet the front of the Chaos player, who is using the Shroud of the Forest. So the Chaos player, as you guys can see, is running through the forest here, obviously realizing that the Dawi do have a cannon, so he's not going to want any of that for free. So he's doing a pretty good job, but man, it's going to be pretty funny to see how he deals with just Chariots and Shaggoths. So on the far side, it looks like the Chaos player did have some sneaky business going on. He has a Shaggoth and a Chariot, so no infantry at all, just Hell Cannon fire. So the Hell Cannon fire has begun. It's going to just overshoot just a little bit on that front line of Miners, but he definitely wants to be targeting the Thunders or some of those high-value troops here. But Hell Cannons against the Dwarves, even though they seem really cool, I just find that they underperform like so often. But you know, at the very least, I mean, they won't break. So you know, if it goes to army losses, they'll keep fighting to the bitter end. So the Dwarf Cannon is going to start returning fire, and that cannon over the course of, like, you know, this battle will do really good, and will most likely kill that thing. Cannons obviously being much more accurate than the Hell Cannon, and they do have an anti-large bonus, I think, to the cannons. No, I don't think they do, actually. For some reason, I thought they did, but no, this cannon does not have an anti-large bonus. So over here, you can see Lord of the Storm is going down from Kolek. So he's going to pop these Miners, and Lord of the Storm hits pretty hard. I mean, that actually killed like 7 or 8 Dwarves, and that's a pretty good value for an ability that costs no ones of magic. So in the front, you can see the Chariots coming in. There's fire in the background, and the Miners get a little bit of a counterattack in the front. You see the Thunders in the back are getting some good supporting fire on these guys. And man, those things are freaking disgusting, those Gore Beasts. But anyways, the Miners just get basically run through. They didn't take too many casualties, but the Chariot is just going to continue to hammer through to that back line, and it's taking a ton of crossfire. So the Chariot's still, you know, even though it's getting in back there and violating some of these guys, it's taking some fire for sure. Granted, you know, I suppose it hasn't been reflected. It looks like it's been taking a lot more, but still, crossfire from the Dwarves. You can see that Hell Cannon just narrowly missing. Another Chariot coming in on this side, and guys, the Shaggoth and the mighty Sun Eater is in here right now, and he is angry. And Miners are definitely not in a good situation here. They're literally fighting like one of the most ancient powers of the old world, and you know, they got their little pickaxes. So, but anyways, the Shaggoth gets in there and hammers some of those guys. You can see this Runesmith is definitely fleeing for the hills, but these Thunders are kind of lining up here, and they're in a bit of a wide formation right now, which is not good against Chariots, because you can see the Chariot runs all the way through, and then Kolek is just massacring them. So this is really tough. I mean, these are so many things that the Dwarves are, you know, have trouble dealing with. Like Miners and standard Dwarf infantry can't really do a whole lot against this type of stuff, but still the Thunderers can. So Grombrindle comes in there and pops his smoke bomb, so you can see he's running amongst the chaos, and he gets a great rear attack there on Kolek. This other Shaggoth unfortunately comes and knocks him over. But guys, of course, the Pit of Shades coming in. So when you overcast Pit of Shades, it gets more of an armor piercing value. So you can see these Dawi, some of these Slayers and Miners, I think mostly, probably going to take quite a bit of damage, but still, it's not going to be like devastating, I don't think. I mean, you can see the Miners taking a bit of damage, so are the Slayers, but it's not that bad. I think Lower Metal is probably a little bit better. So Kolek here did get the flash bomb, so his speed is quite a bit slower. Some of these miners are being chased by the chariots, but if we take an overarching look at things, GROMBY's flash bomb did pretty good because the Slayers right here, these guys were slowed and the Slayers were able to get us around. You can see they're shaken. They're down about half HP, so they're going to have to run for the hills, which is great. Some of these miners over here throwing all their blasting charges at this Chaos Sorcerer who is going to charge in and retaliate a little bit. You can also see the Dwarf Cannon, despite all this kind of a madness going on, is still online. So that Dwarf Cannon is shooting up there and has that Hell Cannon at about half HP, and the Hell Cannon itself is only racked up 11 kills, so a little bit lackluster there. So right now, guys, it's pretty much just a wild fight. You can see some of these Thunders in the back are compromised. There's a group here who's about to get Lord of the Storm, so they go down from 36 to 32 models, which is you know, some pretty rough damage for the most part. But still, the Thunders still continuing to fire. Kolek's at about half HP, and Grombrindle is doing his darndest to catch these guys. So every time he does catch something, he usually hits it pretty hard. But you guys see even that splash attack from that Shaggoth was able to knock him over, which really sucks. The Slayers over here, though, they've been putting in some work because, again, Chariots are a micro-intensive unit, so if you slip up for 1 second and let the Dwarf Slayers catch these guys, you can see they're probably going to lose a Chariot or two here, at least route and take a ton of HP damage. And you guys see the blasting charges coming in from those miners, doing some excellent work against these Chaos Chariots, and the Slayers have massacred them. They march through the fire onto their next target. So over here, the Shaggoth is at full health, unfortunately, with 6,000 just full-on angry HP. This Kolek, well, not this Kolek, the Shaggoth, the mighty Kolek Sun Eater, is about half health. So these Slayers have been in a pretty hot pursuit, and you can see the Hell Cannons coming in. The Chariots continuing to just muck through these guys, having racked up actually 65 kills. So they actually got another like 15 kills right there. So, but they are surrounded again, which is not good. Their HP is probably tanking pretty rapidly. You can see when we started looking at this model's HP, it was at 2,800, give or take, and now it's at about 2,000. So, you know, he's probably microing Kolek or some of the other Shaggoths somewhere. So if you slip up for for 1 second here, it can be pretty rough to kind of you know, catch those guys. So the Chariots down to 2 models. They're broken, and they're probably going to even lose another one here. It looks like, yeah, those Dwarves getting dragged as they run away, but still they go down. And you guys also see there's some Thunders coming back from route who are going to pepper these guys. So nonetheless, Kolek is still doing some serious work for the Dawi, giving him a lot of trouble. So you can see over here that the Dwarves taking quite a bit of a beating, and Kolek is, you know, he's definitely a specialist at getting through armor. So another Pit of Shades being dropped over here on some of these, I think, Ironbreakers and Slayers and some of these other guys. And blasting charges, I don't think they do much damage to these type of units, but nonetheless, the Dwarves, rather than fighting Kolek in melee, are probably just going to throw their blasting charges. These Thunders here, like, yelling for help. They're like, come on, help us. And these guys are just like, screw that shit. Let's throw our blasting charges. So they're throwing in there. You can see the cannon continuing to just work back there. And actually, the Hell Cannon has been fully destroyed. So if you look here, yeah, no, it's gone. It just has no HP. It's just been eradicated. And actually, some of these miners are able to get a bit of a surround on this Chaos Sorcerer, who's probably out of Winds of Magic right now. So guys, if we look at the balance of power right now, it's very, very even. You can see Kolek getting a very, very well-timed Lord of the Storm right here. If you look up at the skies, you can see it raining down and just doing massive splash damage. So very, very well played by the Chaos player, targeting that bad boy down and, you know, essentially just nuking a huge pocket of Dwarf infantry. So all the Shaggoths are relatively low. You can see this one's at about 2,500 HP. Kolek over here is 2,900. And that's pretty much all he has is a bunch of Shaggoths. The Chariots have actually been dealt with all the Thunders and Slayers. Have been very, very persistent. So very, very well played by the Dwarves as well, getting through and kind of starting to put those guys down. So Uncle Gromby's been, you know, huffing around. He's winded. A little bit tough. Definitely should lay off some of those Bugman's brews, but he's still he's doing good. You can see some of these Ironbreakers coming in here pretty hot. And they're good health. They have good leadership, but they're still going to get jumped by the Shaggoth, who just runs through in just a pile of gore and blood. But that cannonball literally just bounced off that guy's chest. That's pretty funny. I don't know if I had seen that before, but nonetheless, the Dwarves are going to take a bit of a beating from the Shaggoth initially, but once Big Papa Gromby gets a single auto attack, so he's at 2,000 HP. I think Gromby got knocked over, but let's see if he gets an auto attack in here, guys. We'll keep checking. But yeah, there's an auto attack from Gromby. Takes him about 300, 400 HP down. There's another one. Takes him down about 600 HP, give or take, with the assistance of these other Dwarves. So Grombrindle is just a true hero of the Dwarves, doing a very, very good job of kind of hammering down all these guys. Kolek on the far side is having a little bit more luck, but he is going to get jumped by 24 Slayers. So the Slayers against the low armor of Kolek will definitely do a very good job, and they're not going to, you know, terror out or anything like that. So the cannon, despite being jumped, these guys are continuing to fire. So definitely some good stuff there. You can see the Chariots coming back in. This Shaggoth here is actually about to break. He's at about 800 HP. So if Gromby's able to get any more action, but unfortunately Grombrindle's busy getting dragged through the fields by that wavering Chariot. So he's back online now, and if he gets one more attack on either of these guys, that'll be pretty good. So Grombrindle gets charged by that Chariot, and he just gets run over again, which is so annoying. And then Kolek, of course, wants to come in and like tail whip him. But it looks like the Slayers are hot in pursuit, guys. They're doing a good job. Unfortunately, Kolek did kill one of those cannons there, so they're going to be down a little bit in that respect. But let's see if we can get some Gromby action. But man, he just keeps getting knocked over. Just Shaggoths everywhere right now. Just such a menace. But Grombrindle, he's still confident. He's in good shape. The balance of power is just dead even, which is awesome. And it's always nice to see dwarves be able to deal with chariots and things like that. So they get a great attack here. You can see the Sun Eater is at about 200 HP. So guys, 1 or 2 more attacks from these Slayers, you know, or Grombrindle. But man, he just keeps getting knocked over. But over here you can see the Dragon Ogre Shaggoth breaks as well as Kolek. So they're actually running for the hills right now. So the balance of power finally starting to shift a little bit in the favor of the dwarves. Granted, there's still plenty of time left in this game. And if these Shaggoths and even these chariots, like, you know, 2 models here, it looks like there's 1 here, but still that's a lot of tough stuff to deal with. If he's effective at his cycle charging, it can be very tough for these guys. So the miners and the iron breakers doing their best to kind of lock this guy down, even though they don't really do much damage at all. Like that whole second I had my mouse over, he took like 30 damage, even though he was attacked by an entire group of infantry. But up on the high ground, you can see some of these miners are going to be pushing after him. And right now it's basically just a Dawi Death Star, but they still have this 2 cannons. So the cannons here look to be, I think they're still shooting at this this Dragon Ogre Shaggoth right here. So if it's able to kind of pop this guy before he can come back, I feel like this is like a scene from Jurassic Park. There's like a T-Rex coming at like the last bastion of defenses here. So come on, get that fire, shoot him, and that cannon misses at point blank range. The other one misses as well, I think. Oh no, they fired that, took him down to 54 HP, and some of those miners are going to get in there if only that other one had hit. But these Slayers should be able to get this guy down. So he is incredibly low right now. He's wavering. He has 33 HP, but man, the leadership on that guy to just actually stay and fight despite having literally 1 hit, and down he goes. So the Slayers are able to do it. Another Pit of Shades coming down in the clutch, man, just wrecking those miners. So very well played by both players. But Grombrindle is taking no shit this game, so he's getting in there, and I think he just has Smoke Bomb. I don't think he has Grombrindle has No Fear, but granted, Grombrindle has No Fear is a really good ability. I think it's worth bringing, but it is kind of tough to decide when you want to bring it. So if you're cutting corners, I can see, you know, people wanting to cut that, but still, the cannon is shut offline, and unfortunately that Chaos Sorcerer was able to kind of chase those guys down. But Grombrindle, if he's able to get his paws on that guy, it's going to be a very, very bad day. So right now, guys, let's take a look. We have Chaos Sorcerer with Shadows, the Shaggoth, as well as a Chariot just riding down those Slayers right there. So that's pretty tough, but regardless, it rides it down. So it's basically Grombrindle versus the world right now. He does have 26 miners up here who are shaken, and Kolek is back. So the Lord, the Mountain God, is coming down from the hills. He does have his Lord of the Storm, which might be somewhat useful, but granted, the dwarves don't really have enough density for that to be good right now. So Grombrindle, he's got his Rune Axe out. He doesn't actually have the item equipped on him, but, you know, of course, that's what he's using. I mean, as you guys can tell. So he's going to get in there and chase this Chaos Sorcerer and hopefully do pretty well for himself. And you can see, is that Lord of the Storm going down? I think Kolek was trying to get someone. Yeah, I think he was trying to get some of those miners originally, but we'll go ahead and fast forward because there's a little bit of Benny Hilling as Grombrindle chases things around. I know you guys don't want to watch that for 4 minutes. So he does get in here and start attacking this Shaggoth, but again, the Shaggoth, the Chaos player realizing he probably needs to deal with a lot of the scraps first, but regardless, GROMBY is, he's taking those chariots like champions. He's full health for the most part, but still the bounce of power, I think, actually still favors the dwarves a little bit, even though there's only, you know, 4 of them left or 50 of them left. So Grombrindle gets in there, he gets knocked over by that Shaggoth, but hopefully he'll get up here in a second. And I wish they didn't lay there for so long. It's so annoying. Like, Grombrindle would pop up faster than that. There's the Chariot coming in the back. It's probably going to try and get a rear charge on him, but man, this Shaggoth, he does not know who he's up against. So Grombrindle does 600 damage to him right there. And thankfully he's not getting knocked over, so if he gets another auto attack, bam, another 600. But he does take a charge from that Chaos Sorcerer, so man, he is just fighting tooth and nail here, guys. So he's sitting at 2,300 HP. His leadership's 55, 63. It actually went up and he got hit. Look at that contact. That extremely high melee attack just wrecking the Shaggoth. So he's going to get in there and he wrecks that guy. Look at the slow motion Shaggoth death just being slayed by the White Dwarf himself. So man, what an incredible battle so far. So right now that Sorcerer realizing that his heavy, his muscle is gone, the chariots are all routing. So he knows he's not long lived for this earth. So Grombrindle comes in here. The charge fails a little bit. He gets a good auto attack, putting him down to 400 HP and a negative 150 leadership. One more attack is definitely going to send this guy to the pits, and that appears to be all she wrote. So very, very well played by the dwarf player, dealing with all those miserable chariots and those Shaggoths and everything. But that was a really fun replay for sure, but well played to both players. We had some great Lord of the Storms from Kolek. The one thing that he probably should have cut was the Hell Cannon. It was just, I mean, honestly, just get like another Shaggoth or, you know, even something else, Chaos Knights. It would have been much better. But regardless, very well played to Dr. Mazda MD and I Choose Violence. Look forward to running into you guys on ladder. And guys, more content coming soon.